not a good. It's not a good money. See, they had that pre-sale, and that pre-sale, and these are rough numbers, very rough numbers. 80% of the total supply was issued. Okay, so, and I can't remember the exact numbers, so I'm just kind of winging it. But about, say, 80 million of the total supply of Ethereum were issued and held on paper wallets or private keys or whatever, waiting for the platform to come out. And if you didn't get in on the pre-sale, you missed the boat with Ethereum. And so then what they did was the remaining, 15 million are produced every year. So right now what everybody's doing is fighting over that 15 million while the people in the pre-sale are waiting for the price to hit 100 or 1,000 or whatever they're hoping for. But to me, it's very disappointing in this cryptocurrency space because it seems like when it started, when the Bitcoin thing started off, the people who were involved in it were very principled. Andreas Antonopoulos, Patrick Byrne. But now it seems like there's a bunch of Goldman Sachs is people. You got people from Goldman Sachs at Ethereum. Wall Street is paying attention and all this stuff, and the community is getting diluted with a bunch of traders and greedy people. Even the Bitcoiners who started it, a lot of them are just consumed with greed, and I guess that's what happens with money. People just get greedy. I'm trying not to. I mean, it's pretty easy because I've been broke my whole life, but I don't, and I'm good with it. I don't mind it. I like doing without, actually. I mean, you don't want to starve or nothing like that, but I'm content. I'm happy with who I am. But it seems like a lot of these people that, got into Bitcoin real early and, they made a lot of money, they're jumping into Ethereum, really backing it, defending it in the face of incredible things. I just listened to David Seaman. I love David Seaman. I listen to him. He's got some good insights, but the guy jumps on every bandwagon that comes along. I remember him talking about Vertcoin. Oh, it's going to be the best thing in the world. And I think he goes back and deletes his old videos. I may be right or may be wrong about that, but I think I've discovered that at certain times. It may not be 100% factual, but I'm pretty sure he goes back and he deletes his bad ones, his bad moves. And so I'm hearing him now. He's defending Ethereum, and I don't mind Ethereum, whatever, but to say that Ethereum is going to replace Bitcoin, and I'm seeing that a lot. Ethereum is Bitcoin 2.0. You've got to be kidding me. I have a different perspective than a lot of the people who are in the Bitcoin space because I'm seeing it from afar. My extent of repairing a computer is when anything that has a computer in it is messing up for me, I reboot. And if the reboot doesn't fix it, well, probably time to get something new. You know, that's kind of, I mean, I don't know much about computers, but I also know that computers, you know, are big help. And they make our lives easier. But I also know that people, and I'm talking to the developers and the programmers now, you guys are a little bit warped because you think computers are the answer to everything. And they're not the answer to everything. Human beings are invaluable. Case in point, I'm in Chicago driving a new truck. It's got the automatic transmission, you know. They bought this truck because it had like some kind of sensors on the front so that it could sense when you know, you're about to get in an accident. And I'm driving down Western Avenue, south in Chicago, all right? If you've ever been there, it's a fairly narrow road. People zip down it pretty good. And I'm going through this Irish part of town. And in a semi, something like that, where you got parked cars on the right, you want to be in the hammer lane, the left lane, and leave that right one open for people when they come out to get in their car. You don't take a door off or take a head off or something like that. So I'm in the hammer lane over here, and I'm going along. Well, tow truck come passing me on the right, and that's fine and dandy. Well, he gets right up to the front right corner of my truck, and all of a sudden, man, in this truck, alarm started going off, and the brakes locked up. And this is at 29 degrees, which is the freezing point where the road gets slick as snot. And the computer locked up the wheels on this truck and the trailer, and an alarm sounded, which scared the heck out of me because I never heard it before. And I started skidding and losing control. You see, computers aren't the answer to everything. I knew what that truck was doing. I knew where it was, and it came up there, scared the heck out of the computer. All it knew was there was something real close. Well, it's tight spaces. Sometimes you're in tight spaces. But at that particular moment, now who's to blame? I'm driving the truck down the road. I'm perfectly in control, and all of a sudden, the computer locks up the brakes. My point is that these smart contracts, I think people are learning a lot about smart contracts. They're only as good as the guy developing the contract. And then you've got to trust him. But, and everybody wants Bitcoin 2.0. Bitcoin 2.0 is Litecoin. That's what it is. And, these coders and these programmers are wanting something that's really easy to program and all this stuff. Well, you think about it now. How about these programmers that want something easy to program because they don't want to have to think too hard? You get these kind of guys who don't want to work for what they get. They just want to do something real quick, throw it out there, and then what happens? Oh crap! Somebody lost $50 million or $200 million. Well, hundreds of millions of dollars. What's the market cap down to now? It's down about $700 million because of a lazy programmer that, just kind of half-assed did the bobblehead. Who wrote a code that wasn't properly vetted or checked out, whatever, and there was a weakness. Oops, sorry. But everybody's running in. Everybody's running in. Now you think about this, man. Ethereum's got this pre-sale, and everybody is running in there. People are chasing performance in this area. And now you've got the Goldman Sachs leader of Ethereum talking about forking. Joseph Lubin, Goldman Sachs. He's trying to save his hedge fund buddies money who all invested in the pre-sale. And then you got all these sheep running into Ethereum, jacking up the prices and making Wall Street, Goldman Sachs people rich again. Aren't you tired of that? Isn't that why we got into this space in the first place? Was to put the power back in the hands of the people? That's my thing. That's why I'm turned off by Ethereum. Gee whiz, this road sucks. But, man. Stick with Bitcoin and you stick with Litecoin. If you want to get into some little experiment that's going on, take a small portion and put it in there. But stick with, you think about it. Litecoin is probably the most fairly distributed. I love Litecoin, man. Now think about this. It's basically the same thing as Bitcoin, just tweaked a little bit. But, the Genesis block, right? The Satoshi has over a million coins out of a 21 million supply. Hey man, Satoshi, thank you very much for your invention and your creativity. But hey man, that's a lot of power for one man. And then I hear people, like that Bitcoin Jesus guy. Oh well, some of these, people get goofy in this space, man. They're like bowing down at the altar of Satoshi. It's like, whatever, man. It's money. It's not. You don't need to make it complicated. The simpler, the better. Smart contract. Look at this whole DAO thing. Okay, it's going to be settled in human courts. Have you read the attacker's letter? There's a letter from the attacker. And he said, hey man, I just examined the code and I read it and I understood it and I found a way that I could get a bunch of ether. And I did it. I did everything by the book. That's what the attacker says. And I believe him. That's how he got him. And then everybody's saying it's a hacker, including me, because I don't understand it. And that's why I don't invest in it, because I don't understand this stuff. But I do understand gold and silver. And I do understand Bitcoin and Litecoin. And I do understand how those two can play with each other and how they can discover the price together. Simple. It's very simple. How do you know that Ether should be worth $17 or $20? To me, Bitcoin and Litecoin are the standard bearers in this space. Anything that jumps above Litecoin, I'm skeptical of. Because it's Microsoft coming in and investing. It's Goldman Sachs coming in and investing. It's Wall Street coming in and investing. No, I'm sticking with Bitcoin and Litecoin because of the ethics of the matter. Because of what is right. There's certain people in this space that I listen to when they talk. Andreas Antonopoulos, Patrick Byrne, those guys on the Let's Talk Bitcoin, deal. There's certain people that are motivated by doing what's right. And there's other people that are motivated by, oh man, this is going to be big. This is going to be huge. You're going to be driving a Maserati. It's going to be great. Well, I don't care if I'm driving an old lawn tractor down to the tavern, or something, and buying the cheapest beer they got, or what, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, money ain't everything. Money can't buy you happiness. Money can't buy you peace. Money can't buy you a lot of things, and it's those things that are valuable, and it's those those intangible things are why I invest in Bitcoin and Litecoin, and why I kind of steer away from Ethereum and Ripple and those type of things. They're markets that seem to me to be motivated by greed and laziness, and that's the way I see it. And if you're going to try and get rich in this space, get rich quick, good luck. And to each his own. I mean, I don't care if somebody gets rich and got more money than me or whatever. It don't make any difference to me. There's no skin off my teeth. But I don't know. Greed is not something that I want to grow in my life. I invest in Bitcoin and Litecoin because I think they are fair. I think they are good. Can be good. You know, it's money. It's impartial. You make the money bad, or you make the money good. You know, it's on you. But it's fair. It's impartial. Litecoin was distributed the most fair, even more fair than Bitcoin. And it's cheap. Anybody can get into it now. You know, so at the beginning, you know, I mean, what, $5 for a Litecoin? That's like ridiculous. And I don't even like talking it up because I want to